Most SwiftUI developers think they understand a state, a binding, and property wrappers until they try to build one themselves. In this video, I'm going to show you a custom SwiftUI property wrapper that logs every state changes automatically. No print statements scattered across your views, no hacks, no UI kit, nonsense. You'll see how a property wrapper, dynamic property, a state, and projected values actually work together under the hood. And if you'd like to meet me on a one-on-one Zoom call, maybe you want to talk about SwiftUI or how to create your very own custom property with more in-depth, go ahead and check out rebeloper.com/mentoring. It's the first link down in the description. Now today, I'm going to create a custom property wrapper. You know, property wrappers, the at state, those are inside SwiftUI and we are using them extensively. Today you are going to learn how to create your very own custom property wrapper, and I'm just going to go with a simple example. Today I'm going to create the logged custom property wrapper. Now, what would that custom property wrapper look like? Well, let me just take a look. There we go. We are going to have here a text field. So for the text field, we are going to have a state variable. And whenever that state variable changes, I want to print out something inside the console. So that's the whole premise. And first, I'm just going to do it with plain old SwiftUI without a custom property wrapper. And then we're going to build out the property wrapper. So it will be much easier to use. So let's state private var name. Would be our state variable, and we are going to bind that to a text field name and the $ name. There we go. And let's just have a text field style. There we go. Dot a rounded border. Now, this is binding to the text field, which means that the name will be updated as I type. So what I want to do is just listen to those changes, because eventually I want to print out the name. So dot on change of, and then name, and there's the old value, and I want to print out, let's see, logging, and then value changed from, and that would be our old value, to our new value. That's right. So yeah, you can do this, but as you know, as you can already see, it's kind of cumbersome to just making these own changes, and we're going to create a custom property for that. Let me just build and run so you can see how all of this looks like. So we're going to have a text field right in center. There we go. Let's change this with Shift Command A on the simulator to be on light mode. And then let's have this out so we can see it a little bit better. And then I'm just going to type in here A. As you can see, value changed from empty string to A and D, A to AD, and AD to ADA. So basically this is what I want, but in a custom property manner. Stop spinning your wheels with scattered tutorials and unanswered questions. Whether you're stuck on SwiftUI, app architecture, or real-world coding challenges, this is where you get personalized answers, clear direction, and the confidence to ship your next app. Book your mentoring call now and level up your iOS skills with expert support. No fluff, no frustration, just real progress. The link is in the description. So what I'm going to do is just create that custom property right over here. Feel free to just put it into a separate file. This is just for convenience. So first of all, of course, you need to have imported SwiftUI in that file. And then you want to create a property wrapper with a macro at property wrapper, this one. And then it's a struct. And let's name this logged. And it will have some sort of a value. It could be anything, by the way, and that's why I added this generic over here, and it would need to be a dynamic property. This is kind of the keyword. It adheres to the dynamic property. Okay, now it's asking us for a lot of stuff, does not contain non-static property name, whatever. We are going to add this right now. So first of all, I need to store that value in this dynamic property. So I'm going to create that at state right over here. Think of it like the state, right? What we have over here, but it's inside the dynamic property. So at state, private, of course, private var value of type value. Okay, next we want to create the initializer for that value, and we're going to do that with init and not value, just like it. We need to have the wrapped value. Okay, it's going to be of type value, and instead of this self.value.value, we are going to grab the state variable's wrapped value. So underscore value equals state with an initial value of the wrapped value that we added here. Okay, that's one thing. Next, we want to have the variable of wrapped value, and then because we want to bind it to we want to make it bindable, we want to bind it to the text fields binding, we want to also add the projected value. So two things. First, the wrapped value. So if I just type out a wrapped value, it should autocomplete, but actually it's not. So I'm just going to type it out, wrapped value. Okay. And that's of type value, and we need to have a getter and a setter. Now the getter is quite simple. It's just the value, the state variable that we have created with a small v over there. And then the setter, because we are going to print out some stuff, and most probably on your own custom property wrappers you are going to do some stuff, it's going to be a non-mutating set. So non-mutating set. And right over here, I'm just going to, first of all, set the value with a small v again. Value equals the new value. The new value is coming from the set. And before that, I'm just going to print out, and let me just copy this out. Why not? Print out. And let's just change this to logged, and value change from, and this is the value, again with a small v, and then this is our new value. Great. Okay, so this is our wrap value, and to make sure that this works with the binding, so whenever you type into that text field, it's also going to update. We also need to add our projected value. So var projected value of type binding value. Okay, and then we're going to create a binding with a getter and a setter. So get set. Right over here, we're going to add a set self.value. And then on the set, we are going to have a new value, come on, value. And we're going to say self.wrapped value equals this new value. Okay, great. So basically that's it. As you can see, it's quite simple if you take a look at it from above. This is where you do your changes. Okay, so now that we have this, let's create this scenario with the name on the text field differently. So instead of at state, we are going to, let me just duplicate this and comment it out. We are going to have at logged, there we go. And the same thing, private var name. Nothing changed and nothing broke because we do have our projected value. So the binding is just fine. And then you can just remove this part. And as simple as that might seem, that's it. It's as simple as that, just making sure that you add at log in front of your, state variable. Let's build and run one more time. And now you should be able to see actually the printed out logs without the onChange modifier. So I just have here a logged, you see not logging, but logged value change from empty string to a to AD, and AD to ADA. And it's simple as that. Now you know how you can create your custom property wrappers. And if you like these types of tutorials and you want to meet me on a one-on-one Zoom call, go ahead and check out rebeloper.com/mentoring.